Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are taking a closer look at the spectacular world of giant-scale RC jets. These enormous machines bring some of history and A-10's most famous fighter aircraft to life in the hands of dedicated model builders and pilots. If you enjoy the sight and sound of large turbine jets racing across the sky with astonishing realism, you are in the right place, because we are exploring several of the most impressive models that serious enthusiasts are building and flying today. First up is a machine that can instantly dominate attention whenever it arrives at the flight line. The CARF model's F-4 Phantom II is a gigantic 1:4.5 scale recreation of the legendary McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II, the twin-engine supersonic multi-role fighter that became one of the defining aircraft of the Cold War thanks to its extensive combat record and unmistakable shape. From the moment you see this model, its sheer size is impossible to ignore. The wingspan measures 2.64 meters, while overall length ranges from approximately 4 meters for the short-nose versions to 4.3 meters for the long-nose variants, giving the aircraft a commanding full-size jet appearance even before it leaves the runway. CARF models uses advanced all-composite construction throughout the airframe, producing impressive rigidity and durability while keeping the dry weight between roughly 37 and 40 kilograms. Depending on the turbine selection and onboard equipment, realistic takeoff weight falls between 44 and 55 kilograms. Every major visual feature of the original Phantom has been carefully reproduced, from its characteristic anhedral wings and enormous air intakes to the authentic tandem cockpit arrangement that immediately reinforces its scale presence. Two turbines, each producing approximately 230 to 250 newtons of thrust, provide the power needed for convincing takeoffs, extremely fast passes beyond scale speed, and composed handling that experienced pilots can appreciate, particularly when flying in stronger winds. Another major attraction is the exceptionally detailed molding. Fine panel lines, rivets, and surface textures give this jet a level of realism that goes far beyond what is normally expected from a large-scale model, making it widely regarded as one of the most detailed large jets of the century and one of CARF models and A-10's greatest achievements. Buyers can also request custom paint schemes inspired by famous Vietnam War liveries or other historical markings, allowing each aircraft to have its own distinctive identity. Behind the appearance is equally serious engineering, with careful attention to weight limitations required for legal operation in many regions, while maintaining flight behavior that resembles the full-size Phantom, including reliable angle of attack performance and predictable handling at reduced speeds with the flaps deployed. The major advantages are obvious: extraordinary scale accuracy, extremely strong construction, and the kind of museum-quality appearance that serious collectors and pilots dream about. The trade-offs are equally significant, including the high financial commitment, the requirement for a very large flying site, and the experience needed to operate an aircraft of this size. This is absolutely not an entry-level turbine jet. Current pricing places the basic airframe kit at approximately $12,590, while fully assembled, painted, and equipped examples featuring extensive scale accessories can climb to $35,000 or beyond, depending on the selected configuration. That premium cost reflects its position as a flagship model for enthusiasts who place maximum realism and craftsmanship above budget considerations. Next, we move to another legendary aircraft in giant-scale RC aviation, the Skymaster F-14 Tomcat XXL. This enormous model recreates the character and presence of the famous Grumman fighter with an impressive combination of size, engineering, and functionality. Built at an exact 1:5.5 scale, it measures approximately 3.55 meters across the wings when fully extended and about 3.47 meters from nose to tail, making it an imposing sight both while sitting on the runway and during high-speed flight. The feature that truly separates this model from many competing giant jets is its operational variable sweep wing system. Just like the real F-14 Tomcat, the wings can move during flight, allowing the pilot to use a broad wing position for slower speeds, greater stability, and convincing carrier-style approaches, then sweep the wings backward for faster passes, lower drag, and the aggressive appearance associated with the real fighter. The sophisticated composite airframe weighs about 38 kilograms when dry, yet maintains the strength and stiffness necessary for demanding maneuvers without carrying excessive weight that could hurt overall performance. Twin turbines producing as much as 20 kilograms or 45 pounds of thrust each provide substantial acceleration, strong climb performance, and smooth control throughout a wide range of speeds. Combined with the unmistakable sound of twin turbines, that power makes each departure feel remarkably close to launching a real naval fighter. Scale enthusiasts also get carefully reproduced twin vertical stabilizers, the authentic tandem cockpit arrangement, realistic surface paneling, and plenty of options for finishing the aircraft in classic naval color schemes associated with famous carrier-based squadrons. For experienced turbine pilots who want something beyond a conventional fixed-wing giant jet, the F-14XXL offers an especially memorable experience. Its functional swing-wing mechanism is far more than a visual feature. It becomes an active part of the flying experience and adds another level of excitement and spectacle to every flight. Another reason this aircraft remains attractive is its pricing relative to the amount of engineering and functionality included. The primer finish version begins at approximately $6,195, while professionally painted versions cost around $7,395. Considering the enormous dimensions, sophisticated moving wing system, and extensive entertainment value, that represents strong value compared with many simpler aircraft of similar size. Its strengths include excellent scale appearance, dependable handling with the wings in either position, and an enormous crowd-pleasing presence at virtually any flying field. However, its size creates practical challenges, including the need for a generous runway, careful transportation, and a properly configured radio system using at least 13 servos to operate the various control surfaces and wing mechanisms safely and effectively. Moving away from the naval fighter theme, we now turn toward one of aviation and Oppo's most recognizable ground attack aircraft, the Skymaster A-10 Thunderbolt II, better known as the Warthog. Produced at a 1:6.25 scale, this Skymaster recreation captures the rugged character of the original aircraft and delivers the kind of authentic close air support experience that makes the A-10 so appealing to RC pilots. Its wingspan measures more than 2.78 meters, while its overall length approaches 2.55 meters. The model faithfully reproduces the distinctive shape of the Fairchild Republic A-10, including its straight wings, twin vertical tails, and elevated engine nacelles, making its identity immediately obvious wherever it appears. One of its strongest selling points is the combination of size and affordability. The primer finish airframe begins at approximately $2,895, while professionally painted examples cost around $3,495. That makes it considerably easier to justify than many XXL jets that may cost twice or even 3 times as much. Its composite structure incorporates Arex foam components and split nacelle sections, resulting in a dry weight of roughly 20 to 22 kilograms, while retaining the rigidity needed for serious turbine operation. Twin turbines producing between 8 and 12 kilograms of thrust provide dependable performance and suit the A-10 and Oppo's naturally stable, slower flying character, echoing the Real aircraft and Oppo's ability to operate effectively at low altitude during close air support missions. The engineering philosophy here is centered on strength, reliability, and straightforward handling. Aluminum tube wing spars reinforce the structure, while live hinges with accurately sealed gaps, molded rivet patterns, and realistic surface panels add both durability and scale authenticity without creating excessive weight or unnecessary mechanical complexity. Its greatest strength in the air is controlled low-speed performance. The forgiving flight characteristics allow pilots to reproduce realistic attack approaches, low passes, and deliberate maneuvering while remaining comfortable during longer flying sessions. Scale-focused details further enhance the experience, including cockpit options, operational landing gear, and a carefully shaped nose representing the famous Gu-8 Avenger cannon. Custom military paint schemes also make it possible to recreate aircraft associated with different squadrons and operators around the world. The biggest advantages are its rugged construction, attractive price, realistic appearance, and forgiving flight behavior, making it a compelling choice for enthusiasts who want a substantial giant-scale jet without entering the highest price bracket. However, its large dimensions still demand an appropriate flying site and a pilot with meaningful turbine experience, while full functionality typically requires approximately 13 to 15 servos. Taken as a whole, the Skymaster A-10 combines durable composite construction, impressive scale detailing, and balanced flight characteristics into a highly satisfying package. For pilots who admire the tough, practical character of the legendary Thunderbolt II, it provides an immersive way to experience that battlefield personality while remaining realistic enough for long-term ownership and regular flying. Now we move to a fighter that offers a noticeably more compact and agile experience, the Top RC Model F-16 Fighting Falcon at 1:6 scale. For pilots who want a turbine jet that remains impressive without becoming difficult to transport or operate, this model provides a particularly strong mix of dimensions, performance, and affordability. The aircraft measures approximately 2.48 meters in length and has a wingspan of 1.63 meters, accurately reproducing the familiar profile of the General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon. Famous around the world as the Viper, the full-size F-16 earned its reputation through exceptional maneuverability and advanced fly-by-wire control, and this RC interpretation aims to capture much of that character in a more practical package. Its full composite sandwich construction produces a rigid yet remarkably light airframe, with dry weight falling in the neighborhood of 16 to 17 kilograms. That low mass gives the jet a lively feel in the air and allows it to perform both rapid high-speed passes and demanding aerobatic routines without the sluggishness associated with heavier models. A single turbine producing approximately 12 to 20 kilograms of thrust provides ample acceleration, quick control response, and stable handling across a broad flight envelope. Whether the goal is recreational sport flying or polished scale demonstrations at an event, the F-16 has the versatility to handle both. Price is another major attraction. The ARF airframe is currently offered at around $2,245, placing it well below many of the enormous XXL jets, while still incorporating the construction quality and scale features that experienced pilots expect. Practical touches include a removable plug-in wing arrangement that simplifies transportation, carefully engineered live hinges with sealed gaps, extensive rivet detailing, and accurately represented panel lines. Functional flaps improve control during slower approaches and landings, while the detailed cockpit, optional pre-painted finishes such as the Thunderbird's livery, and electric retract systems with brakes can further increase both realism and convenience. Its manageable dimensions are a major advantage, allowing pilots to use smaller flying areas than those required by much larger twin-turbine aircraft. The predictable handling also makes the model approachable for intermediate pilots developing confidence with turbine jets, while its strong composite structure is capable of handling regular operation and the occasional less-than-perfect landing. The main considerations are selecting an appropriate turbine, with a quality 12 to 16 kilogram unit recommended for strong performance, and configuring approximately 12 to 14 servos when all control functions are being used. These requirements are hardly unusual for a jet in this category. Overall, the Top RC F-16 combines lightweight composite engineering, convincing scale workmanship, lively flight performance, and reasonable ownership costs. For intermediate and advanced pilots looking for the distinctive energy of a Viper without dealing with the transportation demands and expense of the largest giant-scale jets, it remains an especially attractive option both on the workbench and during fast passes and sharp aerobatic routines. Staying with modern fighter aircraft, the Skymaster Sukhoi Su-30 introduces a completely different personality, combining Russian design character with serious turbine power and an aggressive appearance. This approximately 1:6 scale model is built for pilots who want both convincing scale realism and the ability to explore more demanding dynamic flight. It carries a wingspan of about 2.46 meters, while its length can range from more than 3.65 meters to approximately 3.8 meters, depending on the selected probe configuration. High-quality carbon sandwich composite construction provides the structural strength necessary for a jet of this size, while keeping weight under control and preserving responsive flight characteristics. Twin turbines producing between 16 and 20 kilograms of thrust give the Su-30 considerable performance, enabling rapid acceleration, powerful vertical climbs, high-speed passes, and the kind of aggressive maneuvering associated with the full-size Russian multirole fighter. Depending on configuration, the dry weight sits between approximately 26 and 30 kilograms. Advanced versions can also be equipped with thrust vectoring nozzles, opening the door to genuine three-dimensional aerobatics, such as post-stall maneuvers, torque rolls, and high angle of attack passes that make this aircraft particularly exciting for experienced pilots. The model and APO's control response is another major attraction, with highly responsive surfaces complemented by carefully reproduced structural details. Twin vertical stabilizers, large air intakes, a tandem cockpit arrangement, realistic panel lines, and molded rivet effects all contribute to an appearance that remains convincing whether the aircraft is parked on the flight line or moving rapidly through the sky. The Su-30 can be flown as a traditional scale model during controlled demonstrations or pushed much harder during aggressive aerobatics that highlight its aerodynamic design and rigid composite structure. Pricing also helps make it attractive within the premium giant scale market. The primer finish ARF version currently begins at approximately $4,995, while professionally painted examples are priced around $5,695. For an aircraft of this size with twin turbine power and optional thrust vectoring, that provides substantial performance without reaching the extreme prices associated with the largest XXL platforms. Engineering highlights include accurately hinged control surfaces, optional upgraded scale landing gear, reinforced aluminum spars, and a structure designed to remain composed during both fast flight and slower approaches. Its primary strengths are the powerful twin-engine configuration, optional thrust vectoring, impressive scale appearance, and durable composite construction, all of which make it especially rewarding for experienced turbine pilots. The disadvantages are mainly practical. The aircraft needs a large flying area. Approximately 14 to 16 high-torque servos may be necessary for complete operation, and twin turbines naturally bring higher fuel usage and running expenses. Even with those compromises, the Skymaster Su-30 delivers an exciting combination of size, authority, realism, and advanced maneuvering capability for pilots who want a giant-scale fighter that looks as formidable in the air as it does sitting on the ground. Another major contender from Skymaster is the F-15 Eagle XXL in 1:5 scale. This enormous recreation of the legendary McDonnell Douglas F-15 brings the aircraft and APO's famous air superiority character to the RC world with a level of presence that immediately dominates the runway. Measuring 3.91 meters from nose to tail and more than 2.61 meters across the wings, it is an imposing machine that still manages to remain remarkably composed once airborne. The composite airframe weighs approximately 34 kilograms without fuel and is designed to accommodate twin turbines producing as much as 18 kilograms or 40 pounds of thrust each. That combination provides rapid acceleration, powerful vertical climbs, impressive top speed, and a stable flight envelope that reflects the confidence associated with the full-size Eagle. Pricing is another major attraction. Primer finish versions cost approximately $5,495 for the single-seat C and D configurations, while the two-seat E version begins around $5,895. Professionally painted aircraft can move beyond $7,000, but even at those prices the model offers substantial scale size and performance compared with many competing XXL fighters. Its construction and detailing are equally impressive, featuring accurately reproduced exhaust nozzles, finely molded panel lines, extensive rivet patterns, optional speed brakes, and the choice between building a single-seat C configuration or the two-seat E-Strike Eagle. Carbon fiber reinforced composite components and strong internal structures provide the stiffness needed for turbine operation, while accurately engineered control hinges allow the aircraft to handle advanced radio installations using numerous high-torque servos. In flight, the F-15 offers the combination pilots want from a large fighter: confidence during fast passes, enough authority for aggressive maneuvers, and smooth behavior when flown as a scale aircraft. Its biggest strengths include twin turbine power, excellent vertical performance, impressive scale accuracy, and the ability to choose between multiple Eagle variants. The disadvantages are mostly predictable for an aircraft of this magnitude, including the need for an expansive flying area, substantial fuel consumption from 2 turbines, and approximately 12 to 14 servos with careful setup to make every function work properly. Overall, the F-15 Eagle XXL combines Skymaster and A-10's established composite engineering with tremendous visual impact, serious speed, strong handling, and relatively competitive pricing, making it an excellent choice for experienced enthusiasts who want the unmistakable character of one of the world and A-10's most celebrated fighter aircraft in giant-scale form. For enthusiasts drawn to the earliest generation of operational jet fighters, the Skymaster F-86 Sabre XXL offers a spectacular recreation of one of aviation and A-10's most graceful designs. Built at 1 to 3.65 scale, the aircraft reaches approximately 3.05 meters in length and has a wingspan exceeding 3.15 meters. Its elegant swept-wing proportions faithfully reproduce the North American F-86 Sabre, the famous Korean War fighter that became one of the defining symbols of the early jet age. A carbon composite airframe provides the required strength while keeping dry weight around 28 to 29 kilograms. It is designed for turbines producing approximately 20 to 25 kilograms of thrust, giving the Sabre enough authority for fast passes and energetic aerobatics while preserving the smooth, predictable characteristics that make large-scale flying so enjoyable. The pricing is particularly attractive considering the aircraft and A-10's size and historical appeal. A primer finish ARF version currently costs around $3,595, while professionally painted examples can reach approximately $4,295. That places an authentic classic jet within a more approachable range than many modern fighter replicas of comparable dimensions. Scale details include the correctly shaped nose intake, carefully formed canopy, realistic panel lines, functional speed brakes, optional scale landing gear with doors, and numerous finishing possibilities inspired by historic Korean War squadrons. These choices allow builders to transform the model into a convincing representation of the Sabre and A-10's golden era. Precision control hinges, reinforced internal spars, and carefully developed aerodynamics help create a balanced combination of speed, stability, and smooth control response. The aircraft is equally comfortable performing graceful scale routines, rapid passes, and classic fighter maneuvers without becoming excessively sensitive. Its major advantages are the timeless appearance, strong composite structure, excellent flight behavior, and convincing historical accuracy, making it particularly appealing to pilots who appreciate the early days of jet aviation. The compromises are familiar for a jet this large. It needs plenty of runway space, approximately 8 to 12 high-torque servos depending on the selected equipment, and more fuel and operating expense than smaller turbine aircraft. Even so, the F-86 Sabre XXL brings together historical character, reliable Skymaster construction, versatile flight performance, and competitive pricing in a package that should remain appealing for years. For anyone fascinated by the pioneering swept-wing fighters of the early jet era, it is a model that manages to look elegant on the ground and equally impressive once it takes to the sky. Then there is the enormous T1 model's F-18F Super Hornet at 1 to 4.3 scale, a model that ranks among the most imposing Super Hornet replicas available in the RC world. With an overall length of 4.25 meters and a wingspan of 3.05 meters, this aircraft has the physical presence of a genuine naval strike fighter. Its tandem cockpit configuration also accurately represents the two-crew arrangement of the full-size Boeing F divided by a -18F, reinforcing the model and A-10's connection to the operational multi-role aircraft. Underneath the highly detailed exterior is an advanced composite structure designed to combine substantial strength with precise weight management. It can accommodate twin turbines in the 23 to 26 kilogram thrust category and reaches an expected takeoff weight of approximately 50 to 55 kilograms. That power-to-weight combination provides strong acceleration, confident departures, rapid passes, and convincing high-speed performance while retaining the stability required for realistic scale maneuvers. The model includes many of the visual characteristics that define the Super Hornet, including its rectangular engine intakes, enlarged leading-edge extensions, accurately reproduced landing gear, and highly detailed tandem cockpit. These elements combine to produce an unusually convincing representation of the real naval fighter. Despite its huge dimensions, the refined aerodynamic design and enlarged wing arrangement give pilots a reassuring feel during both controlled scale flight and more energetic maneuvering. Smooth carrier-inspired approaches, low passes, tight turns, and higher energy routines can all be performed with confidence when the aircraft is properly configured. Its technical equipment is equally impressive. A heavy-duty pneumatic landing gear system with functional gear doors provides realistic operation, while the 12-liter fuel capacity supports extended turbine flights. Up to 17 servos can be installed to operate the extensive collection of control surfaces and scale functions, allowing the aircraft to remain responsive and stable even when flying in stronger conditions. The base kit begins at approximately $14,995. That is a significant investment, but considering the enormous dimensions, detailed construction, and high level of scale authenticity, the price is competitive within this extreme segment of giant-scale RC jets. Builders can further increase realism with options such as functional ordnance pylons, digital cockpit systems, and custom weathering, making it particularly attractive to scale enthusiasts recreating famous naval aviation squadrons. The main disadvantages are obvious. Transportation requires considerable space, operation calls for a large flying site, and the aircraft demands an experienced turbine pilot rather than a beginner. Still, for dedicated enthusiasts, the combination of massive presence, twin turbine power, sophisticated engineering, and extraordinary realism makes the T1 model's A-10 Super Hornet an unforgettable machine, turning every takeoff and low pass into a genuine flightline spectacle. If you are searching for a more approachable way into larger turbine aircraft, the Hangar 9 Aermacchi MB-339 Turbine ARF is an especially attractive starting point. It sits nicely between conventional sport jets and the much more demanding world of advanced-scale turbine models, making it well-suited to pilots who already have some jet experience but are not ready for a huge XXL aircraft. Inspired by the famous Italian trainer, this model combines substantial visual presence with friendly handling. Its wingspan measures 2.13 meters, and its fuselage extends slightly beyond 2 meters, giving it a convincing scale appearance while remaining practical to transport and operate at many ordinary flying sites. Rather than relying entirely on composite construction, Hangar 9 uses balsa and plywood reinforced with carbon fiber, keeping the structure strong without adding excessive weight. A typical flying weight of approximately 10.4 kilograms helps the aircraft remain responsive and forgiving in the air. Turbines producing between 60 and 86 newtons provide smooth and dependable power, supporting realistic takeoffs, controlled climbs, and predictable approaches that reflect the behavior expected from the real Aermacchi MB-339 trainer used by military flight schools around the world. Another major advantage is the amount of work already completed before the model reaches the builder. As an almost ready-to-fly package, it includes electric retractable landing gear with functional brakes, a detailed cockpit, and durable ultracoat covering enhanced with printed panel lines and weathering. That means pilots can achieve a convincing military trainer appearance without spending months completing a complicated scale build. In the air, the MB-339 is characterized by stable and predictable behavior while still offering plenty of aerobatic capability. Rolls, loops, point rolls, and other maneuvers remain crisp and enjoyable, while the aircraft and Oppo's controlled low-speed response helps reduce stress during approaches and landings. Its sleek Italian styling, accurately shaped fuselage, and properly proportioned wing profile capture the identity of the original trainer, while a carefully designed fuel system and support for multiple servos provide precise control throughout the aircraft. Cost is another major reason this model remains attractive. The ARF kit starts at approximately $1,400, which is a relatively low entry price for a turbine-capable aircraft of this size and quality. For pilots moving up from smaller electric jets, It can provide an excellent introduction to genuine turbine power without requiring the financial commitment associated with much larger scale models. Its forgiving flight behavior, good component fit, and relatively straightforward setup also make the transition less intimidating, while the realistic appearance and authentic turbine sound add considerably to the overall experience. The main limitation is that it should not be mistaken for a completely beginner-friendly aircraft. A reliable turbine, properly configured radio system, and some previous jet flying experience are still necessary to operate it safely and confidently. For intermediate pilots, however, the manageable learning curve and impressive flying experience make the MB-339 a highly rewarding step into turbine aviation. If electric propulsion is more appealing, the Freewing Ares 3D 90mm EDF offers a completely different approach to high-performance jet flying. Rather than concentrating primarily on scale realism, this model is designed around extreme aerobatic capability and pushes the boundaries of what an electric duct fan aircraft can accomplish. Developed together with world champion aerobatic pilot Sebastiano Silvestri, the Ares 3D focuses heavily on post-stall maneuvering and delivers an energetic flying experience that makes it stand apart from conventional EDF jets. With a wingspan of 1.156 meters and a length of approximately 1.4 meters, the aircraft is large enough to be visually impressive while remaining simple to transport compared with giant turbine models. Its EPO foam construction also keeps the empty weight of the 8S version near 2.7 kilograms, creating an excellent power-to-weight ratio for aggressive aerobatics. Power comes from a 90mm 12-blade EDF system combined with an 8S configuration, a high kV and runner motor, and a 120-amp thrust-reversing electronic speed controller. Together, these components provide strong acceleration and rapid response when the aircraft is pushed through demanding maneuvers. The biggest technological highlight is the second-generation dual-axis thrust vectoring system. Its redesigned nozzle reduces thrust loss to below 6% compared with previous designs, giving the pilot significantly more control authority during post-stall flight. That allows the Ares 3D to perform maneuvers such as sustained hovering, torque rolls, cobra maneuvers, flat spins, pinwheels, and even helicopter-style movements that are extremely difficult for conventional EDF aircraft. Dual integrated gyros provide additional stabilization and help the aircraft remain manageable when it enters unusual or extreme attitudes. Practical features have not been forgotten either. Quick-release wings make transportation easier, bright LED lighting improves visibility, retractable landing gear with shock-absorbing struts adds durability, and functional flaps provide greater flexibility during normal flying. Perhaps the strongest argument for this aircraft is its price. Depending on the retailer and selected color scheme, it is currently available for roughly $600 to $750. That is an impressive figure considering the advanced thrust vectoring, stabilization technology, and three-dimensional aerobatic capability included with the aircraft. In effect, pilots can experience some of the excitement associated with turbine-style performance without dealing with the cost, fuel, maintenance, and complexity of a large turbine platform. Its biggest strengths are the tremendous power, precise vectoring control, gyro assistance, and exciting yet surprisingly manageable flight envelope. Assembly can also be completed in roughly 1 hour, while the foam construction helps reduce concern about minor mishaps. The main challenge is the electronic setup. A capable radio system with at least 13 channels is recommended, and pilots should have some previous jet experience before attempting to fully configure the dual gyros and thrust vectoring. Once everything is properly tuned, however, the Ares 3D becomes an exceptionally stable and confidence-building platform even when performing highly aggressive maneuvers. Taken together, these aircraft showcase just how diverse the modern giant-scale RC jet world has become. From the historical character of the Phantom and Sabre to the naval presence of the Tomcat and Super Hornet, the rugged personality of the Warthog, and the speed and maneuverability of the F-16, Su-30, and F-15, there is an aircraft to match almost every enthusiast and oppo's interests. Operating machines of this size and performance requires experience, adequate flying space, reliable support equipment, and careful preparation, but the reward is an unforgettable experience once one of these jets launches into the sky. If you have a favorite from this lineup, or if there is another model you think deserves a place on the list, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me which jet you would choose or what aircraft you are planning to build next. Thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe for more giant-scale RC jet content. I will see you in the next video. Fly safely, everyone.